There's no power quite like the power of celebrities when it comes to saying, doing, or tweeting whatever they want. One odd tweet from a celeb that some find to be artistic would constitute as sheer insanity if any of us normal folk were ever to press send. But some tweets are so bizarre that we can't help but still wonder what was actually meant, and since what happens on the internet stays on the internet for the rest of eternity, we're breaking down some of the most insane celebrity tweets that we still think about to this day. What's up, y'all? I'm Emil Ennis Jr. here with Clever from my at-home studio, and times are really weird right now, but almost nothing compares to a weird and bizarre celebrity tweet, so let's get into the real nutty stuff. Do you ever wonder what in God's name prompted them to press send instead of the save as draft, or better yet, delete button? Yeah, same, like all the time. Like I said, in no way would we be able to get away with some of the tweets being posted from our favorite celebrities without our concerned friends checking in on us after we press send. Case in point, Kanye West's bizarre tweets have been slated as artistic and creative, whereas if any normal person were to tweet some of the stuff he's tweeted, people would assume we were drunk, hacked, and/or borderline out of our absolute minds. It's just a fact. Then again, this isn't the most bizarre thing we've seen from the Kardashians or anyone closely associated. Kim Kardashian apparently attempted to be one with the waves and try out a new surfer dude persona. Back in 2010, she took to Twitter to write, "Cowabunga dudettes, I'm so pumped to be on this surfing kick. Who else surfs out there? Gnarly day in the H2O riding waves." Maybe she was on vacation in the Bahamas, maybe she was going through crisis mode while dating Kris Humphries. It's still a mystery, but clearly the people don't forget, thanks to this user who ever so graciously sends reminders every year writing, "I like to retweet this masterpiece once a year, so now we're good through mid-2018. FYI, it's 2020 and we need this tweet now more than ever. And you know what else you need now more than ever? To subscribe to Clever News if you haven't done so already." Okay, Kris Jenner on the other hand may not have even been able to hop up onto a surfboard after tweeting back in 2012, quote, "I feel like there's a giant meatloaf inside of me." Could this have been a prank thought of by one of her sly offspring? Possibly. Could Kris have also just eaten a meatloaf dinner, downed a bottle of wine, and stated the obvious? Also yes. But thanks to some helpful fans and their wise solutions, this problem could have been solved by pushing it out, because if you can push 6 kids out, there's no question a meatloaf is any different, right? Okay guys, so you know those times where you're unable to sleep, you're tossing and turning, and you just crave a good old-fashioned Walmart sesh? Me either, but apparently this is the product of Shaq's insomnia. Back in 2009, he took to Twitter at 10:57 p.m. to share this gem: "I can't sleep, gotta get to Walmart." The sales, the bargain shopping, it's honestly making me feel all warm and fuzzy inside, but clearly I'm not the only one. One user responded to Shaq's comment writing, "I love a good Monday night ritualistic visit to Walmart." Fun fact, I met Shaq at Walmart on vacation in Florida one time, and he took a picture with my mom, so he really does love Walmart. But I have to know, what do you think of these weird, questionable, and WTF celebrity tweets so far? Comment below and let me know what is going through your mind. The year was 2010. It had been 7 years since his smash hit single In the Club debuted, and 50 Cent was paying a visit to his grandmother when she asked him for the smallest of favors: to take out the trash. Apparently this was way too much to ask of her household guest, aka her own grandson, and he did what any normal human would do and air out some dirty laundry via Twitter. He wrote, "I can't believe my grandmother's making me take out the garbage. I'm rich. This, I'm going home, I don't need this." The year is now 2020, and we can only hope he's earned his patch for assisting the elderly, but since then, fans have been confused and displeased when reading his tweet. One user referenced his 2003 album Get Rich or Die Trying, saying, "Take the garbage out or die trying." Another user tweeted this crucial life lesson saying, "You're never too rich or old enough to stop taking orders from your mom or grandma, LOL." Here's to hoping Grandma Cent put her foot down and taught Mr. Curtis a lesson about simple daily chores. So by now, I think we all know that there are some things better left in your Twitter drafts, and some things better left not even having left the deepest of thought waves in your brain. Kris Jenner once again makes the cut as she let us all in on some very hard-hitting knowledge about the digestive system, writing, "I just sharted myself. That's when you fart and you yourself on accident." Thank you so much for the valuable bit of information, Kris, but this one has got to be a Rob, Courtney, or Chloe troll tweet. But while we're on the topic, Ashanti was also curious to know how many ladies aren't afraid to fart in front of their man. With this gem back in 2010, many fans didn't exactly find this amusing, like this user who quit back with, "Pretty sure this is the tweet that ended your career." Ouch. Others, on the other hand, had opposing viewpoints on female flatulence, like this user who wrote, "If she farts and poops in front of you, then she's the one, LMAO." All right, I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready to switch topics. So, since being married to Hailey Baldwin, Justin Bieber is truly a changed man. tweeting and sharing photos nonstop of his glamorous married life and gushing about how amazing his wife is. But back in 2012, Justin shared a tweet that will forever trump any lovey-dovey comment said about Hailey. You guys ready for this one? I love ARM. That's it. That's the tweet. 8 years later, and whether this was meant to be an acronym for something, Arm Day at the gym, or his infatuation for one of the most useful human body parts, the confusion is still alive and well to this day. Also, the fact that he hasn't ever deleted the tweet says a lot, and I will dedicate the remainder of my quarantine to cracking this case. What I will never be able to code if my life depended on it, though, is Britney Spears' tweet back in 2011. Brit suffered some not so good days since shaving her head in 2007, but has since seemed happy and healthy for the most part. Unfortunately, we all remember where we were and what we were doing when we stopped to read and then reread one of her tweets that read, "Does anyone think global warming is a good thing? I love Lady Gaga. I think she's a really interesting artist." Weird flex, but okay. Maybe she forgot the basic rules of Twitter and didn't realize she needed to press send after one specific thought. Regardless, I've gotta hand it to Brit for bringing up some pretty good talking points about one of the world's most ongoing controversies, and two, one of the world's greatest pop stars. I couldn't tell you what Lady Gaga has to do with global warming, but fans were having a field day with this one for obvious reasons. One user drafted up a response to her tweet that was liked over 200,000 times that was equally as confusing, saying, "Does anyone think cheese tastes like sausage? I like pink balloons." Intriguing and insightful. I love it. Another user was quick to catch on to one possibility that clearly went over all of our heads, prompting the question, what does she know about the connection between Lady Gaga and global warming that the public doesn't? This opens a whole new conspiracy topic, but I'll save that for a later time. Now, we use Yelp as a tool for reviewing the best and worst restaurants, bars, and services within the industry, but honestly, who needs Yelp when you have Alec Baldwin's honest review of Starbucks employees who clearly rubbed him the wrong way? Back in 2011, the actor took to Twitter to warn his fans about a barista with some serious bad attitude, saying, "Starbucks on 93 and Broadway, uptight queen barista named Jay has an attitude problem." I'm thinking Jay may not have received Employee of the Month back in September of 2011, but hopefully everyone in this unfortunate situation has learned a valuable lesson. Liam Payne definitely learned a valuable lesson to maybe not be under the influence of whatever he was when spilling a whole tub of pasta on the floor back in 2012. After getting back home from a seemingly long day, week, month, or whatever, Liam accidentally knocked a tub of pasta on the floor, which prompted him to tweet, "Got in yesterday, spilt a full tub of pasta on the floor. Stupid, stupid, stupid boy, smelly pasta house." The spelling, the grammar, the entire tweet itself. What? But after doing some research, we did learn that One Direction was in the middle of their Up All Night world tour, so maybe this is just a case of some good old-fashioned jet lag. Fans were pretty entertained by Liam's update and interpreted it in their own crafty ways. Like this person who tweeted, "I can't not read this like it's a trap song." One more time, shall we? "Got in yesterday, split a full tub of pasta on the floor. Stupid, stupid, stupid boys." No, can't do it. Others suggested that maybe one of his trusty bandmates might be of service, saying, "Just give Niall a call, he'll clean it up." Anyway, every year we're exposed to brand new slang, whether it be getting lit, being extra, or snatching wigs. But leave it to the weekend to share this spout of knowledge, better known as 2012 slang we never really knew existed. He said, "Yo, what up, you cabbage?" A little harsh, but okay. Then again, you know how much I love some good wordplay, so cue this clever produce pun by musician Tyler Shippey, who wrote, "Let us know when you feel this way again." Classic. Moving right along, if there's one surefire way to keep you grounded and remind you that you have nothing compared to celebrities, Paris Hilton is your go-to girl. Back in 2014, she tweeted to her fans, who likely don't even have her phone number, quote, "Hey friends, I lost my BlackBerry, so if you're trying to reach me, then text me on one of my 3 iPhones." You know who has the perfect response to that? Martha freaking Stewart, who dropped the killer K tweet. No more explanation needed, right? Okay guys, so before I go, I'm just going to leave you with one final thinker from the account Horse eBooks, who tweeted to their 153,000 followers, quote, "Everything happens so much." Have I been reading these bizarre tweets for so long, or does that kind of make sense? On that note, I'ma head out, but be sure to click right over here to check out some of the most hilarious footage of celebs falling on and off stage. And no need to worry, no celebs were harmed in the making of these tumbles. I'm Emil Ennis Jr., and I'll see you next time.